is Nicole Cole. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a extra special edition of my chalk painting. So I have a dear friend that I have had these tables since Thanksgiving. Yes, Thanksgiving. And I've been dealing with some shoulder issues. So today I am going to paint these tables for my dear friend. So I thought we would do it together. I know the other day that I did a chalk painting session and I kind of recorded it and talked over, but I love talking to y'all. So I just wanted to do it in person. So I'm gonna get everything ready and we're gonna get started. All right, so I've got everything ready to go. I am going to do it on my kitchen counter. So I just wanted to do it right here because I didn't want to drag my table out from upstairs. So we're going to do it right here today. I've got everything covered up and protected, so I'm good to go. So this table has a lot of ornate areas of it. So we're going to work with that area and make it look, I'm going to distress it different. Let me explain it like that. So I like to accentuate the curves and the legs with all the little spindles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one coat on. I'm going to let y'all watch me for a little bit. I'm going to, kind of finish up and then I'll turn the camera back on. But it's going to be a process, but we're going to do this together, okay? So I'm just going to get started. I am using Kiltz chalk paint today. I normally use Rust-Oleum, and I'm out and I have this, so we're gonna go with it. This stuff covers really well. Kiltz, as you know, is a very thicker paint, and it's really good coverage. So you may realize that you don't need as much. So some chalk paints, let me say this, some chalk paints, they require you to add a little water. This, I don't. I've never added water to any of my chalk paints. Now the Annie Sloan, I've used it a few times and I did have to add a little bit of water because it's so hard to work with. I like something that I can work with and kind of move it around because I'm like a slow painter. So that was really hard for me to do. So I'm going to get my first coat on and then I will get back with y'all. So this is how all of my projects evolve. I get in my head what I want, and then when I get started, I change it. So what I did is I painted, the base is white. Then I had this light country gray, is what it's called. And this is the normal brand that I use. I love the Rust-Oleum chalk paint. It's really easy to work with, very forgiving. So that is and it's a lot less expensive. I think it's less than $20 a can. So that's why I like it. And there's a ton of colors to choose from. So what I did is I painted the full piece white. And I didn't do it perfect. And that's a lot of the reasons why I like to distress, because it doesn't show all that mess. So then I edged every corner in the white. And you can see that in the video. Every edge with that dark gray, or that country gray, excuse me. So all of that. So it's kind of like a shadowing effect, okay? So now I'm going to go back over it with my white. And then I'm going to distress it. So first coat of white, it doesn't have to be perfect. Add a second coat, add a different color. So we're doing a layering effect, just like I did with the lamps the other night. So I add this gray, soft gray. You can go darker. You could do a dark gray. I did that on my dining room hutch, and I'll show you a picture of that at the end of this video. So light gray on the trims, or just like where you want the shadow effect. I did pretty much the entire top that gray, and I think it's really cute. So we'll let this dry. And now a lot of people let their coats dry 24 hours between each coat. I don't. I mean, you can start feeling the top or feeling the sides to see if it's dry and then go from there. That's the way I do mine. Now, when I seal it, I do allow 24 hours. So let's say I paint it, I get it exactly the way I want it, And I put the wax on it too. So I do the wax, then I'll put a poly on it. When I put a poly on this type of furniture, on this type of distressing, because I want it to be farmhouse, I do not use a poly, like a shiny poly. I use a matte, and that just gives it that more country farmhouse look. Now, if you want it to have that shiny, more modern look, yes, I would definitely put a shiny or a high gloss polyurethane. I like the matte. It's easy to clean up. It's not, it's almost like a sheen is over it, but it's not shiny. Does that make sense? So I like that for me. If you want a more modern, which you could do this table totally modern, do a dark charcoal gray would be gorgeous. Solid charcoal gray. You could distress it, but mostly modern people don't like distressing like I do. So I love distressing. And I'll tell y'all why I went more farmhouse. One thing is I love anything vintage. So all my grandmother's stuff, all my grandfather's, great-grandfather's stuff. I mean, it all fits in with the look that I'm going with. So that's a lot of the reasons why I changed. Here's the other. With a farmhouse look, my grandchildren, they can knock around, they can hit stuff. Guess what? That adds more character to my piece. So I like it. Now, I don't want them to go out and just break the legs off of it. You understand what I'm saying? I like that because it's a worry-free decor. Now, I say that and then I say this. All of our children have animals. They love animals. We are animal lovers. So I do put covers on my white furniture when the grandpups come because I don't want hair everywhere. But if he hits something or scratches something, he adds more character to it. So I'm fine with it, and that's my style. So first coat of base, what you want, which I wanted white. Then I added the light gray. I think it's going to be pretty. I'll get back with y'all when we get the other coat on. So I have my second coat of white on there. So you can see the gray and you can see the white. You can also see that I don't have it on there perfectly, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you, Daddy's home and Bear's having a fit. So what I'm going to show you is how I distress it. There, Bear. Come here. Y'all, he's excited. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. All right. It'll be just a minute. All right. You see how I'm going around the edges? Bear, please calm down. I really had to stop my videoing to take the dog to see Daddy, okay? So he was freaking out. Sorry about that. So I'm going to just go on all the edges. And I had a guy say, or a person say to me on my video from the other day about you can add wax or like a candle. You could use a candle on the corners. That is really good on that piece like I did the other day because I spray painted that with chalk paint and oh my gosh, it was hard to do sanding. On these big pieces, I don't use a lot of paint. I mean, I don't really dab or pile on the paint. So I don't really need it on these pieces. And to be honest with you, I don't really know where I'm gonna distress it until I get started. So great idea, great idea. But for me, on bigger pieces, it doesn't work. So I'm going to just kind of go around on the edges here and just distress. And it's gonna look really good here pretty soon, okay? Plus I have 150 grit, which just makes it kind of hard. But I'm working with what I have. But you see that? Can y'all see that? Look, and I'll even take my sandpaper and drag it across. And then I go, ooh, I want a spot there or there. You see how good that looks? Let me get it up closer. See that? I love that look. So once I get through with my sanding or my distressing, then I'm going to go back with my wax. I'm going to use a dark gray wax. So I'm gonna sand the piece and we'll turn the camera back on. So yeah, guys, so I don't have my wax on yet, but I wanted to let y'all look at it while I've got it pretty heavily distressed. So you can see on the back legs where I've distressed it pretty heavy. All of that spindle work around the edge I distressed pretty heavy. So, I mean, it just really makes the piece look good. So once I get my dark wax, and here is where I did, this was gray, correct? So then what I did is I dry brushed over the white, and then I'm gonna distress that just a bit. I failed to do that earlier. And then I'm gonna do a dark wax on it. So I wanted y'all to be able to see it really good before I put the dark wax on it. It's gonna make a huge difference. After that, I'll have to wait 24 hours, then put the poly on it. So how cute is this piece, guys? I love it. Okay, so I've got the wax on it. I'm only putting the wax on the top. Excuse me, sorry, my finger got in the way. I'm only putting the wax on the top portion, and I'm not gonna do it on the legs, but look at the difference at the top. So it just accentuates the brush marks in it. Do y'all see that? So that's what I wanted to explain to you about wax. So with the brush strokes, when you put the wax on, it picks up on that area where it's kind of lifted, okay? So when you rub the wax across it, it's like a crevice and it will pull that out. So it's a really cool look. Sorry, I didn't mean to get the camera off there. So I did a little wax on the front, and for some reason the back underneath that shelf area is not drying as fast. So I need to wait for that to dry, but I think this turned out really cute. Once I get the finished product and I get the poly on it, I'll send another picture. But honestly, guys, it's not gonna change much once I put the poly on because I don't use the shiny. I just use the matte. So it's gonna look exactly the same. So, but I'll post a picture on my Facebook page on Vintage Southern Belle. So if y'all wanna see that later on. But I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. Once again, I surely did. Thank you for all the subscribers. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.